Good evening, everyone. Cliff, excellent job. I think you're good enough for the opening act. Maybe not the main act, but good job tonight. Doesn't this place look beautiful? The Palladium. Give Cliff a hand for doing the Palladium. First, Cliff going to be more deserving and getting this award tonight. A man who's really invested in the city of Worcester, whether it be here at the Palladium, the Railers, the hockey team, the skating rink, several other buildings. I was with Lieutenant Governor Guido early this morning, so I made her a joke that she was giving us $15 million. I saw it said, I'm not sure who's investing more in Worcester, the state, Lieutenant Governor Guido, or Cliff Rucker.
Recipient Cliff Rucker. His rapid development efforts have included the $2 million effort in the Palladium here. What do you think? Activity to downtown. And how appropriate is it we're here at the Palladium tonight as a reflection of Cliff's commitment to the revitalization of Main Street and downtown. Cliff's work ethic about doing things right caught people's attention. For example, Mike Myers, the Railers hockey president, soon came to realize the scope, depth, and resources that Cliff was willing to put into this thing. And Tim Murray, who's here tonight as a former recipient, as the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce president, summed it up in a recent chamber article. He called it the Rucker effect. And what effect it has been. It's been wonderful to see so many folks here tonight, well-wishers, to reflect on and thank Cliff for all of his efforts in the city of Worcester. Philanthropy. He started the Skate to Success program that gave 2,000 Worcester fourth graders an opportunity to learn to skate, have free lunch.
When others were hesitant or disbelieving in the future of the city of Worcester, you invested broadly and boldly in our city. Not just through bringing hockey back to our city, but through investing in the Palladium and improving the creative economy of our region as a whole. In recognition of your generous corporate citizenship and your belief in the future of our city, it is my pleasure to present you the key to the city of Worcester in recognition of the Harvey Gold.
For the city's revitalization. He made things happen with his compassion and generosity, driven by his integrity and honesty. He believes in doing the right thing, caring for others. $35 million commitment to Worcester and Central Massachusetts. He's created jobs, expanded the tax base, and inspired other property owners. And all with private sector dollars, not a nickel of public funds. He purposely employed local employees and contractors. So I hope you'll celebrate tonight Cliff's celebration and commitment to reaffirm his appreciation for all the efforts that he's had in the city. As Mayor Petty previously noted, he's been a godsend to the city. He's embraced Worcester, and Worcesteran has embraced him. And Augusta's city manager has said he was someone that's doing it right. We hope you enjoyed tonight's celebration.
So tonight is a great event in that it really recognizes people who make us smile. And that was the way that it was explained to me, that I had the honor of making people smile. And that's a wonderful accolade. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the people that make me smile. First of all, the person that makes me smile the most and turns my occasional frown upside down back to a smile, my wife, Susan. Rich in history. It has a tremendous history, and the Worcester Historical Museum really is the steward and the guardian of that history, and we feel a special connection to that. You may have heard the story. When we first were looking to name the team, I'm big on alliteration, So I came up with the name of the Worcester Whitehawks. And we even developed a logo. And I happened to be reading that somebody had found out that we intended to name the team the Worcester Whitehawks. And in true Worcester fashion, they said, "That's a terrible name. What the heck does a Whitehawk have to do with Worcester? It's a bird native to South America." And whoever that person is was right. And so not having been from Worcester, what did my wife and I do? My wife called the Worcester Historical Museum, spent an hour on the phone. We subsequently visited the museum, and we got an education on the history of Worcester. And it was critical. And we had a couple of choices, but we settled on the railers because it isn't just part of the history of Worcester, it's still very visible. And so we feel a special connection to the Worcester Historical Museum. And as more and more people come to Worcester from outside of the community, it's going to continue to be an integral part of educating. And it's why we really came out here to support the museum. I decided that I wanted to do something meaningful, something impactful, and give something back for all of the blessings that I had received. And somehow, some way, we ended up in Worcester. And so I don't really think it had anything to do with coming to a Sharks game, quite honestly. I think it had to do with this community. I've never seen a community more interested in giving back. I've never seen a community more concerned about the welfare of others. I've never seen a number of foundations for a relatively small city that are so invested in the greater good. So while I may continue to repeat the story about the hockey game that brought us here, I don't think that's really what it was. I think it was the energy and the compassion and the desire to give back that you and this community have exhibited, and I think that's really what brought us here. So I want to thank you for that. And we were younger, and we would go to sporting events, and we would strike up conversations. It would come up that we had adopted 2 children, and people would always have the same reaction. They would say how wonderful of a thing we did and what great people we are, and we would politely say thank you because we knew they were well-intentioned. But what they didn't understand is we really didn't do anything for those children. Those children did so much for us, because when you can come to love children or human beings that you don't have a biological connection to that level, you recognize the inherent purity and beauty of the soul. And so our children taught us way more and did way more for us than we did for them. And that's sort of how I feel about this community. My family has adopted this community. And when we walk around, people stop me all the time, and they say the same thing. I want to thank you so much for what you've done for this community. And it's the same reaction. I always say thank you very much. I appreciate that. But deep down inside, the fact of the matter is that the love and the support that we've gotten from this community far outweighs what we've done. And it's because